Hi friends, good evening. Welcome to SQL Master YouTube channel. So I am Manju here and I welcome you all for my YouTube channel. So here in this video I am going to discuss about some of the interview questions and answers here. So these are also very important questions. Okay. So kindly go through the complete video, watch complete video. So that will be going to help you for in interview perspective. Okay. So for that reason, let's start the video. But before starting video, if you are not subscribed to SQL Master, kindly subscribe to SQL Master YouTube channel to get more videos regarding ETL testing and SQL Informatica videos. Okay, so let us start the video here. So here what I made the slides. So the first question is, what are the most common transformations in ETL processes? Although the list might get very long, there are some basic steps performed during the ETL process that every ETL developer should mention immediately: data conversion, aggregation, deduplication, and filtering. Other options a candidate might mention include data cleaning, formatting, merging and joining, calculating new fields, sorting, pivoting, lookup operations, data validations. Okay, moving to next question. What is a staging area? Why it is needed? Staging area is an optional intermediate stage storage area in ETL process. The decision to stage or not to stage can be split into four main considerations. Auditing processes purposes. Thanks to the staging area, we are able to compare the original input file with our outcome. It's extremely useful, especially when the source system overrides the history. Example, flat files on FTP server are being overwritten every day. And recovery needs. Even though PCs are getting faster, typically having more bandwidth of nearly every form, there are still some legacy systems, environments that are not performant to extract data from. So it's good to practice to store data as soon as it's extracted from the source system. So this way, staging objects can act as recovery checkpoints, avoiding the situation where the process needs to completely uh, rerun when it fails to at 90% of done. So third is backup. In the case of failure, the staging area can be used to recover the data in the target system. And load performance. If the data has to be loaded as soon as possible into the system, staging is the way to go. Developers load data as into staging area, then perform various transformations on it from there. It's far more efficient than transforming the data on fly before loading it into the target system. But the trade-off here is higher risk space usage. So third question, how do you prepare and develop incremental loads? The most common way to prepare incremental load is used to use information about the date and time a record was added to the or modified. It can be designed during the initial load and maintained later, or added later in an ETL process based on the business logic. It's very important to make sure that the fields used for this are not modified during the process and that is can be trusted. So the next step is to decide how to capture the changes, but the underlying basics are always the same: comparing the last modified date to maximum date already existing in the target, and then taking all records that are larger. Another option is to prepare the process of delta loads, which would compare already existing records with new ones and only load differences, but this is not the most efficient way. So next question is, what is the advantage of third-party tools like SSIS compared to SQL scripts? So third-party tools offer faster and simpler development thanks for their GUIs, because these tools can also be used by people uh, who are not technical experts but have wide knowledge about business itself. So ETL tools are able to generate metadata automatically and have predefined connectors for most sources. One of the most important features is also the ability to join data from multiple files on the fly. So fifth one, how would you update a big table that is one having over 10 million rows? So you can go through this. Okay, so you can analyze the things. Basically, this, if I read this one, some people are getting understood and some people are not getting understood. Okay, so by getting some experience in ETL testing, in updating the table, okay, so by going on with time, you will get to understand this concept. Okay, so you just go through this slide, and then you'll be going to understood this perfectly. Okay, so just for this special question about the fifth one, how would you update a big table that is have one is having over 10 million rows? Okay, so for that purpose you just write down this and practice in your home. Okay, so then sixth one is, what are the disadvantages of indexes? So indexes allow fast lookups but decrease load performance. Heavily indexed tables will not allow effective DML operations, that is insertions and updates. It's worth noting that indexes take additional disk space, was the database back and needs to update our relevant indexes whenever data changes. It also creates additional overhead due to index fragmentations. Developer or DBAs have to take care of index maintenance, reorganization, and rebuilds. So index fragmentation causes serious performance issues. When new data is inserted into an index, the database engine has to find space for it. It might happen that the new data insert messes up the current order. The SQL engine might split the data from single data page, which creates an excessive amount of free space. That is internal fragmentation. It might also mess up the current page order, which forces the SQL engine to jump between pages when reading data from the disk. All of this creates additional overhead to the process of reading the data and forces random disk I/O. So Microsoft in particular recommends or reorganizing an index with index fragmentation between 5 and 30%, and to rebuild it when it's greater than 30%. An index rebuild in SQL Server creates another index underneath, then it is replacing previous one. Rebuilding may block the whole table from reading it when using in an addition other than their enterprise offering. Index reorganization is basically uh, reordering the leaf pages and an attempt to compact the data pages. So seventh one is, what's the better from performance point of view? Filtering data first and then joining it with other sources, or joining it first and then filtering? It's better to filter data first and then joining it with other sources. A good way to improve ETL process performance is to get rid of unwanted data as soon as possible in the process. So it reduces the time spent on the data transfer or IO and memory processing. The general rule is to reduce the number of processed rows and to avoid transforming data that never gets to the target. So, eighth question is, what is the purpose of data profiling in an ETL process? Which steps in data profiling process are most important? Data profiling tasks help to maintain data quality. During this phase, a number of issues are checked for the and resolved. The most important are keys and unique identification of a row. Rows can be inserted must unique. Often businesses use some natural keys to identify a given row, but developers must verify that this is sufficient. So second, data types. Column names that suggest a certain type should be scrutinized. Will the indicated type change the meaning of the column or potentially allow for data loss? Data types can also affect the post-ETL performance, even if it doesn't matter much during the process. Text loaded into a variable length string column will, on some RDBMSs, cause performance hit when users start querying the target. So third point is relationships among data. It's important to know how tables relate to each other. It might require additional modeling to join some parts of data to avoid losing important structural information. Another thing is to understand cardinality of relationship, as it determines how the table involved are going to be joined in the future. Kindly go through my channel videos. I made several videos on SQL queries, also Oracle queries. and ETL testing and Informatica videos. So if you are not subscribed, kindly subscribe to SQL Master, so that will be a great motivational thing for me to make more and more videos about ETL testing. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. I will be with you with some more interview questions and queries. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.